Hello everyone, my name is Karina. I go by Kartsy on social media, and today's video is going to be completely different than what I normally do because I normally make research and sewing videos I have to do in the cosplay world, but today I'm doing more of a critique slash talking video because Monster High released their collaboration of a fashion collection with the designer Brand Maisie Wilen. And after looking at that collection, I got so disappointed that I just wanted to speak my mind about it and really analyze this collection with you guys. Because some of the collection just looked scary, and not in a good Monster High scary way.
Please join us. Please join us.
So Monster High is a fashion doll brand that started in 2010 and kind of started fizzling out towards the mid to late 2010s. But recently they actually reanimated their social media accounts. Particularly what I'm watching is Instagram, and they started kind of trying to bring their brand back and bring back excitement. It all started in February 23rd, 2021 when we started seeing Instagram tiles pop up. And they have been teasing us ever since. The Monster High live action movie was announced, and we even had some casting that was released recently. The Monster High collector dolls have been coming out. Every time one releases, they sell out within seconds. We're even seeing Monster High coming back to retail stores such as Hot Topic. But in the beginning of February this year, which is actually the beginning of the month I'm currently filming this, Monster High decided to announce a collaboration with the brand Maisie Wilen. They teased 3 posts, 2 of heart symbols with flowers and the signature Monster High skull, and then a pair of blue earrings modeled after Frankenstein's pair. Instagram had a countdown to February 12th at 12 p.m. EST, and 2 accounts were tagged, Mattel Creations and Maisie Wilen. I was curious to see what was happening, a little bit confused. I had never heard of this brand. Actually, if you go into their account, Maisie Wilen at that time was teasing images of the collaboration with a full green screen room, and despite me not liking their aesthetic, I held back my judgment of what the brand was going to do in collaboration with Mattel until I saw the complete collection. Their post tagged not only Monster High, but other brands as well. There was the shoe brand Keds. This is Riot, who I'm assuming is the people who did the digital work for them, Mattel Creations, and Yahoo. They called it their FW22 collection and a first of its kind digital presentation experience. But the teaser mini vid promo that they had for the collection kind of left me a little bit more creeped out than excited.
Please join us. Please join us.
So you might be wondering what qualifies me to talk about Monster High, and my simple answer to that question is I have been following the brand and collecting the dolls since I was a child. I started when the brand started in 2010, so I was about 8 years old, and since then I continued to collect the dolls up until the dolls started dropping in quality. But the reason why I loved Monster High so much was because of the way the dolls were presented to us, how beautiful the fashion was, and how intricate and posable the figures were. Just take a look at one of my favorite dolls, which is Venus Flytrap, and you can see how she has this lovely side buzzed hair, and it's beautifully balanced, and even her shoes have this gorgeous model detail. I mean, Monster High dolls are so intricate and so specifically fashionable, because they are a fashion doll brand, that the dolls had tiny features, like for instance at the back of Rebecca Steam's legs there are gears that actually spin. If you look at the Spectra doll, her legs actually are see-through and ghost-like at the ends of her limbs. And dolls like Skeletor actually were modeled to look like what the monster was. And if you look underneath her clothing, she does have that skeletal frame, and it's just completely gorgeous. I mean, the dolls are all interesting style, they're all very unique, they all have their own personalities, and just for me as a kid that was very interesting, and it really got me into fashion and helped me become who I am today, because nowadays I am actually studying costume construction. I'm sewing how clothes go together, how to make everything work, how to bring to life all these different looks, and for me Monster High holds a very special point in my life. So for seeing an actual fashion brand collaborate with Monster High, I was excited, but then I got very disappointed because there were so many missed opportunities. So come February 12th at 12 p.m. EST, which was this morning for me, literally, I went to see what had dropped, but was actually met with a lot of confusion because as I was scrolling through Instagram, I went on their Instagram profile and the timer said, oh, it's 12 p.m. EST, and that's when the countdown had started for it, well, had ended for it. And I was staring at it, I was like, what's going on? What am I waiting for? There's nothing popping up. And then I started looking at the other profiles, and they were all saying things were gonna go up at 5 p.m. EST, not 12. So there obviously was a mistake by the people running the social media for Monster High that they would have put 12 p.m. EST for the big collaboration reveal. And I wasn't alone. I also scrolled down into the comment section. There was other people who were as confused as well. So I waited until 5 p.m. and looked to see what the fashion brands had created in collaboration with Mattel, but as you can tell by the making of this video, it was not that great. When I first clicked on the website, I was bombarded with purple and black and text everywhere. I wasn't sure how to navigate the site and was met with a lot of lag. The website is doing a lot and quite frankly takes forever to load. There was so much lag, I actually had a hard time even looking at the fashion. I tried looking for images of the clothing instead of just the holographic turnarounds, but I couldn't find anything that wasn't in the post format seen on the social media accounts of Monster High and the Mattel Creations account. With how much the website was showing the clothing in lower resolution and glitching, I expected the video that they had linked to YouTube on the Yahoo YouTube account to actually like show me the clothing, to be like a runway and give me the clothing to my face so that I can analyze it, so I can see if this is a collection that's worth buying from, if it feels like the characters or anything like that. But what I ended up finding was a 33-second clip. It's kind of moving a lot. Okay, well that striped sleeve looked interesting on that shirt. I like the pose that they had Claudine in because it felt werewolfy, but I'm not sure how I like her look. And I like the jittery motion they were doing with Frankie, but it's glitching so much. Yeah, that went by very fast. The whole glitchy motion of everything was making it hard for me to actually look at the clothes. I appreciate this is more monster character looks, but at the same time, I just feel very underwhelmed and confused because I can not really see the clothes as much as I want to see the clothes. Like, you would think that this would be like a runway video where I could see everything. So I later found out that there's actually a holographic fashion show that's in person that's also happening. That's powered by Yahoo. But this was only being shown on the Yahoo Instagram account as being a thing. So clearly the social media from all these collaborators weren't doing enough to communicate to all their followers what exactly was going on and being presented. Because I was seeing different bits of information from all these accounts, and I could only get the larger picture of what was even happening if I looked at every single account. That whole wall of all the characters, well, sorry, all the models together wearing the clothing and being turned around and all their posing would have been very, very interesting to see in a video format, like slowed down, not in that 33 seconds. So I wish that had happened. So before we go into further, let's try to go back on the website and see if we don't get any lag and if we can actually start dissecting all these looks one by one. As you can see, I'm getting this sad face, but right here is supposed to be Frankie, so let's see if I reload this if Frankie will pop up. Are you gonna give me Frankie? There she is. Oh, but she looks very sad. Is she gonna load? Oh, I want to show you this, but it's not loading. Since it's not loading, let's just continue. This one's also not loading, but at least they're sending still enough for us to look at the clothing. This is not saying if it's inspired by a character, but it says model wears the magnet bodysuit in sugar and the Utonium skirt in holographic blue. I really don't see how how the color palette of this look screams Monster High in any way. If they're calling it like a Utonium skirt, that feels very like, you know, kind of space agey rather than Monster High, so I'm a little confused by that. Also, I'm already noticing that the models are not wearing bras. Oh, there it goes, it works now. I can turn her around. I mean, I find that strip there interesting, but oh, that's a bodysuit, I can see it now. I don't know if I like her pose though. It feels very threatening. Like they're trying to be edgy, but not in the way Monster High does it in a cute way. More in like they're trying to be a little bit like stiff and scary. And I don't know if I like that. Yeah, not a look I would personally buy. But I'm guessing, yep, Frankie works now. Oh, there she goes. All her electricity. But at least she smiles. That's a plus, right? To have a Frankie character who smiles. Okay, let's go down. I really don't know how that's Draculaura. Okay, so she was poking out her mouth. I guess that's them showing she has a fang. They have bats flying all around her. But besides that and her being pink, I really don't see how this feels like Draculaura. Like maybe I'm really grasping at straws. I'm trying to figure out how this would be her. This is Draculaura. She's this pink vampire who's very Lolita inspired, but I don't see how this translated to that design other than her pink skin. Okay, so let's go into the collection. It says, model wears the Revenge Body catsuit in Beta Blue. Okay, let's open this one up. If it'll load. Because sometimes I clicked on the models before and I can't see the clothing at all because it just says never ending loading bar and I can't move them. Okay, this is taking forever, so let's just click shop now and see if I can analyze the clothing on their website. Okay, completely different model. You can see the model here has like these gills in her face. Oh, there she goes, she loads. That's not creepy at all. Okay. It's a bodysuit. I'm not that thrilled with it. Also, I don't know why it's paired with those shoes there in that picture. The shoes don't really connect to me with this bodysuit. So the next one is this girl right here who has her head cut off. And model wears the perforated mini dress at midnight. Oh, the sad face. I don't know if I like that whole shaved upper head look because that's kind of scary. Again, if I click shop now, I wonder if I could see the look faster. And I bet you it's not. Oh, that sent me to the Monster High Frankenstein earrings, actually. That's a weird bend. Okay. The only thing that feels Monster High to me is the pantyhose. Alright, next look. Here we go, our first Monster High character look that we can actually look at. Laguna Blue wears the Vocaloid dress in Net Sugar. Okay, let's see. Because it's such lower resolution, I'm already getting like a very creepy vibe from it. Like I'm having a hard time seeing the tights because of the resolution of this. So while that loads, let's look at what's on the shopping list. So this is apparently what the model is wearing. I don't mind these shoes actually with this fishnet. But it looks like they're only selling the dress, which is actually quite a shame because I feel like if they were selling like interesting pantyhose that felt very Monster High, that would have been really cool. But if they're selling just the dress for 550 bucks and I don't even get the pantyhose, then that doesn't even seem worth it to me. The fishnet print looks interesting. I just don't know if I like how it's sagging in the middle of her waist and the drape of this. It doesn't feel very flattering. And this Laguna is still loading. Oh, there she goes. I can zoom in a little bit. Very pixelated, can't really see her much. She's coughing bubbles. Not very happy Laguna at all. You know, I'm very surprised for such a bodycon style designer so far, with dresses that like cling to the figure or dresses that are just slinking off the figure. I would have expected the models to be a little bit more varied, not just the same body type of model, but like showing different body types of models and girls with different weights. The clothing all looks kind of the same in shape, and if the designer likes bodysuits so much, then I would have loved to see a more curvier girl and stuff like that. That was a little bit disappointing, but let's go on to another look, which is in blue. And just because all the dolls are color coordinated, I'm going to guess that because it's blue, it's also kind of Laguna inspired, but you can't quote me on that. Loading again, so I'll click the shop now. Yeah, it looks a lot more blue in the image than it does in the whole turnaround of this. The shoes are interesting with it, although I can see that there is some, again, like fishnet stock pantyhose, which I kind of wish I could see, because what's the point of her wearing the fishnet if I can't see it? I wonder what this is made out of. This is a vinyl. I mean, it doesn't look that comfortable to wear. I don't think vinyl is very comfortable to wear. I have a hard time seeing the connection besides the fishnet. There she goes. She certainly looks a lot more blue, although it looks very toned down in the other image. Oh, here we have Claudine. Claudine Wolfe wears the perforated cardigan in tomato and the starlight dress in chrome with the studded mule made in collaboration with Keds. I don't hate the ears that they gave her. At least that gives us some indication to the werewolf. I am a little disappointed that her hair is more like wet slit back and straightened, because this is a character who's known for having a lot of like volume to her hair, which makes her like drop dead gorgeous as usual. I'm not saying that this model doesn't look pretty. I'm just questioning their choice in styling. Not sure if that's a glitch right there, or if that's just like, if the dress is like a sequin and that's just it being ruffled in the wrong direction. I think this is the only look I feel myself drawn to in this whole collection so far. But let's take a look at it on a model, on the for sale. They're not showing me any piece of that of the orange cardigan or that dress for sale, or the shoes. I don't know exactly where I can get those shoes. They're just showing me the button-up back trousers, but this is not on that particular version of the character. There is another look that's labeled Claudine. So let's start with this one actually, because this is where I can show you those button back pants. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, first off, how are you supposed to button up all those buttons on the back of the pant? Are they false? Is there a zipper I don't know about that's there? Because that looks very impractical for a pant. This is a look that's actually on the Monster High Instagram. So if I actually go there, I can show you what that looks like. Standing. Here it is. Okay, so this look, which you can see she was in the crouch for, I really don't like it. It feels very basic. Like, it's just a loose shirt on a girl with pants with boots thrown on, and it doesn't feel cohesive to me. Which is sad, because Claudine is actually a very fashionable character for Monster High, and there's a lot that you could have done with her. But looking at those high boots, it feels kind of lazy. Well, at least we have a close-up here of that other look, but they didn't give us a link to where you could buy that from the collection. Because that cardigan I'm actually very interested in, because it looks like a cute color, but there is nothing else on it. This person has some fishnet. I like the fishnet, but again, I'm not a fan of the vinyl coats. Here's another bodycon dress. I'm not sure how I feel about those green shoes with it, and the gloves feel a bit off. Again, with the high boot, the knee-high boots, I don't think I like them. I mean, that style of shoe is something that the dolls wear a lot. Like, for instance, Draculaura over here with her knee-highs, and even Gulia wears knee-highs. That makes it feel very 2000s. The Frankie looks I actually like more than all the other looks in the collection that I've seen so far. Like, and it might just literally be because they have green skin with the fishnet pantyhose on top. Because that is just a basic bodycon sleeve dress. Although it does have a finger loop, which I find interesting. And at least they gave her some form of black and white print. But again, I really do like those earrings in the yellow. I just wish that Mattel sold the earrings in other colors, because when I look on their site, they're only selling the earrings in blue. Yeah, I wish they sold the fishnet. I don't get what this has to do with Monster High besides it being the whole VR thing. There's that look we were talking about earlier. The shoes are Kegs. I wish they had shown us more about the shoes, because those from Kegs actually look very interesting. They feel Monster High. I just don't know if I like the way they've been styled. I think it's pretty what they did with like the spray in the air, and that they gave us a different type of monster look. I don't know what is happening with this one. There's a lot of vinyl everywhere. I don't know how I feel with the gloves. It's a simple pant and shirt. I like the ties in the back a little bit, like something interesting there. I do like the shoes though, from Kegs. I just wish I could see them more. The fabrics feel very slinky. And for something as like a fitted look like this, where that style is normally like a heavier weight material, I don't know if that lighter weight material feels good. You know, the ones you normally see with tweed. That's what this is giving me the vibe of, but you don't really feel that because of how slinky the material is. And again, this is supposed to be Draculaura. I think the only reason why I like the Frankie looks is because of the green. Oh, I don't like that. She did some sort of weird tongue thing where she's sticking out her tongue and shaking like that. That's a contradiction to earlier where we had like this whole cute like electricity moment and smiles. Why are we suddenly having this grim facial expression? But Monster High is, the dolls are all about shoes, so I'm a little curious why in the collaboration with the shoe brand or in collaboration with anyone, they didn't emphasize doing more unique shoes. Especially since these outfits are so simple, because those shoes, first of all, these shoes don't match, and she was doing that weird bend over thing, and she has that weird haircut. Again, I don't know how I feel about the sequins. Yeah, at least they did the shake. That's cute. Yeah, see that smile in comparison to what happening earlier? I don't understand. I don't see the inspiration from Monster High coming into this other than just the fact that they're all dressed as monsters. I don't like that. More vinyl and fur. Okay, I sort of like the print on the leggings going on in conjunction with the print on this mini dress. I don't like the fabric choice for that look. Okay, another bodysuit, except this time they're trying to make it more interesting with the model doing a bunch of weird motions. And that look from Draculaura, I really don't understand it. And that is the complete collection. Oh, was she about to do a whole, like, backwards to do some sort of vampire thing? Okay, that didn't work that much because you can clearly see the arms of the person catching her behind her. It was cute though, that they tried it. Okay, and that is the whole collection that they did with Monster High. These are the little stands that you can see were posted on the social medias. I think Frankie's looks the best. Claudine doesn't feel Claudine. Over here we have a close-up of the makeup. It doesn't really, the stitching doesn't look that nice. Again, with its yellow earrings, even though they don't sell the yellow earrings. That's just creepy. And I'm sure this is a beautiful model. It's just the hairstyle they decided they gave her. That and hiding her eyebrows. I'm wondering if she has eyebrows or if they were just covering it with makeup, because that's a little odd. I'm gonna go covering with makeup because this model also looks like she has some makeup trying to cover her eyebrows. Oh, that just looks like pajama. And like stuff you can buy in fast fashion just with different prints. Even after looking at what the brand did in collaboration with Monster High, I have a hard time pointing fingers at the brand because I feel like a lot of the responsibility, or a lot of the decision making for how Monster High as a whole is presented and collaborated with lies with Mattel, because Mattel at the end of the day chose this fashion brand to draw inspiration from Monster High and give us looks that represent the characters. The brand Maisie Wilen already has their own customer and style, and the collection as a whole emulates what they have done in the past. So it's not really a surprise that what you see them, what their previous collections have done is very similar to what they did with Monster High as a collaborator. The designer Maisie Squash, I believe is how you pronounce her name. I'm not really sure, but I'll have her name right here. In an interview with Video Fashion, actually describes her brand as the following. I guess a design for anyone who is willing to have fun with their clothes. I try to make clothes that are very wearable, but at the same time very special. It's really a brand of statement pieces. I want every piece to be your favorite piece.
if that makes sense. You know, I always root everything in practical silhouettes so that the customer can get mileage out of what they purchase. Yet through sort of interesting print and fabric selection, you know, is more than just the basic. So based off what she said to describe her, describe her brand, and also with what you see with her brand, you can already tell that when you choose to collaborate with her, no matter the inspiration that she's given, her designs are always going to look a very particular way. Honestly, if you took away the Monster High element from this, besides it having the models dressed up with all that hair and makeup like that, it could literally pass as not a Monster High collection, not a Monster High inspired collection. No matter the inspiration, the designer is going to design with a lot of basics, a lot of stretch, a lot of bodycon. And that is just simply not really the aesthetics that we're used to seeing, at least presented to us from the doll line. I really have to question why Mattel partnered with this brand, because it really doesn't really make sense to me. Was the pitch that when they were in communication with the brand all about these cute like different effects of like electricity and like bats flying everywhere with this holographic experience? Is that what pulled them in to work with this brand? Because besides that, there is really nothing I can see that correlates the two together. I mean, the only products that's being sold is a pair of earrings, which again, I don't really know how that correlates with the Maisie Wilen brand. They have their name on the earring, but I don't see them selling earrings normally as like a normal thing for their brand. So when I see that, I just feel like it's a name slapped on it to crank up the price, because those earrings are selling for 50 bucks. So personally, I think Monster High should have collaborated with a brand and created products for us fans that have to do with like accessories, like purses. Again, I thought some of those pantyhose were very interesting. Why not offer different types of Monster High style pantyhose? Because that could be used in different looks. Shoes. I think shoes are a big thing that they didn't really exploit. Like I saw that Keds had a shoe that they were working with Monster High. Well, actually that's a bit confusing because it looked as if Keds wasn't really working with Monster High, but they were working with that fashion brand. So I don't know how all that collaboration really worked. But if Monster High came out with a line of like limited edition, like Frankenstein purses that were actually leather, like those might sell out. Or if you developed some sort of really cool shoe inspired by one of the characters, then that could have really sold like hotcakes, because Monster High dolls are known for their shoes. And I bet you there are a lot of fans that if you have something like that developed, or even a purse, if you don't feel like you have the resources of manufacturing to produce one shoe in different sizes with that amount of inventory, even if it is pre-order, then why not purses? Why not more accessories? Fishnet stockings, interesting stockings. Because if you were to partner with a fashion brand and you wanted to sell like clothing inspired by characters, then another issue I saw was that the clothing didn't feel inspired by the characters. The models were just painted like the characters. And because of that, nothing about the clothing was inspired by the characters. If you were to present me a fashion line inspired by Monster High, it would make more sense to have the models not look like the characters in terms of painting them green or pink, because realistically, if I'm buying that item, I will not be green or pink. Then the clothing itself can be directly inspired by the characters instead of just dressing the model to physically look like the character. And then another thing that goes into an issue with having these models look like the characters like that is that we have a live action movie coming out this year. And to present that with live people looking like the characters puts a sense of doubt in fans that the live action movie is gonna look good, because some of those makeup looks just didn't look good. So with that, I can only hope that the quality of the Monster High dolls that are coming out from Mattel, since they are known for their dolls, that's what they do. They don't do fashion. They do fashion on dolls, not necessarily on people. I can only hope that those dolls turn out great. But then again, if they turn out great, then I'm gonna be spending a lot of money on dolls. But I digress. If you're a fan of Monster High as well, I would love to hear your thoughts on this collection, so make sure to leave some comments below. And I really want to start a dialogue about this because I want to discuss about this. Like, what are your thoughts on the collection? What do you think Mattel's going to do in the future? Are you worried about the live action movie? This is not normally what I do on my channel. I do a lot more sewing and research videos that have to do more in cosplay. But if you like Monster High and you want to stick around in the future after I'm done with my current projects, I am planning some Monster High focused projects. See you later.